Once upon a time, in the land of the free and the home of the brave, a fierce battle for independence was waged by courageous men and women who dreamed of a nation built on liberty and justice. This epic struggle, known as the American Revolutionary War, is a tale filled with heroism, tragedy, and triumph against all odds. In the mid-18th century, 13 British colonies dotted along the eastern seaboard of what would become modern-day America. As these colonies grew increasingly prosperous and populous, their inhabitants began to chafe under the heavy hand of British rule. Taxes were raised without consent while representation in Parliament remained denied. It was clear that something had to change. One fateful day in 1770 on King Street in Boston town, later known as the Boston Massacre, an altercation between colonists and British soldiers left 5 Americans dead. This tragic event lifted veils from many eyes. People began to see that compromise with their oppressors seemed impossible. Years passed with tensions brewing like storm clouds over an ocean that separated these two lands, England's mighty empire versus its restless subjects across vast Atlantic waters. Then came 1773's historic night when patriots disguised as Mohawk Indians boarded 3 ships docked at Boston Harbor, the Dartmouth, the Eleanor, and the Beaver, and cast into dark waters hundreds crates filled with precious tea leaves imported from distant Asia. The colonists had made their stand. No longer would they accept taxation without representation. Thus began our heroic American Revolutionary War, a struggle fought not just with muskets but also through ideals like freedom and self-governance. On April 19 of 1775 at Lexington Green stood proud militiamen who refused to retreat from advancing redcoats' might. A shot rang out, the shot heard round world, and so commenced bloody battles between American revolutionaries known as patriots, those wishing for independence, against British loyalists, those who remained loyal to King George III. For 8 long years, the war raged on. Heroes emerged on both sides, but the most memorable and inspiring figure was General George Washington. He led a ragtag Continental Army, struggling through bitter winters and numerous defeats yet never losing sight of the ultimate goal, freedom. At last, in 1781, with help from their French allies under Marquis de Lafayette's noble guidance, the American forces cornered British General Cornwallis at Yorktown. The subsequent siege forced him to surrender, signaling a decisive victory for the fledgling nation. The Treaty of Paris in 1783 officially ended this hard-fought war and recognized American independence. With newfound freedom secured by brave patriots' sacrifices comes a tale written into history books for all time, a tale of heroism and heartache born from an unbreakable desire for liberty and justice. In honoring those who fought so valiantly during that tumultuous era known as American Revolutionary War, let us not forget their courageous spirit as we continue striving towards an ever more perfect union built upon foundations laid centuries ago by those daring enough to dream it into existence.